Hey everyone, in today's video, I want to talk to you about sales funnels and mapping out the proper sales prospecting approach really in sort of each stage of the funnel. So my name is Patrick Spielman. I'm the founder of Uptics, and we help B2B sales teams launch and automate outbound prospecting campaigns, nurture leads, and stay insanely productive with our sales automation platform. So let's get into it. So here's kind of a typical B2B funnel. Obviously at the top, you're going to focus on generating as much volume as you can, your leads, because each stage you're going to lose, obviously, you're going to lose prospects. So first you're going to have a lead, you're going to move into a sales call, more than likely. You're going to have your follow-up. From your follow-up, you're likely going to have some sort of conversion, maybe send a contract, do a trial, that kind of thing. And then you're going to ultimately result in your sale. So this is kind of your typical B2B pipeline. Now, in terms of mapping, different strategies, I'm going to go into this stuff a little bit more in depth. So in your top of funnel, you're more than likely, if we're not talking marketing anyway, in terms of sales side, you're more than likely going to mostly use like email and social platforms to drive your leads. Obviously, from a marketing perspective, you're going to have your blog, you're going to have, your paid advertising, you're going to have your marketing website and stuff like that. But I'm just going to focus mostly on the sales side today. And then in your middle of funnel and bottom of funnel, it's really pretty similar. You're going to rely on your calling, your email, probably text a little bit more, maybe a little less on the social side. You're going to get a little bit more personal, more than likely. So maybe once somebody's in the middle of your funnel, of course, you're going to hop on a call with them. You're going to, email directly with them. You're going to text them. And your bottom of funnel doesn't change a whole lot in terms of what types of medium you're going to be using in mapping kind of each one of these. And in terms of defining top, middle, and bottom of funnel, obviously here's your top funnel. You kind of got your middle of funnel in here, and you got your bottom of funnel here, and they sort of blend between the two. In terms of objectives, though, for your lead generation, obviously your meeting requests, meeting reminders, meeting confirmations, and follow-ups, which is going to be a little bit more middle to bottom of funnel. You're going to really rely on all of this stuff. And you want to basically just use whatever your prospects used to. And kind of getting into these different methods. For calling, you're going to utilize that for most of your appointment setting. So once you have your lead into your pipeline and you see that they're engaging with you, then's a good time to rely on calling to book a meeting. Obviously, you can do this electronically as well, but sometimes people just get too busy, and giving them an actual phone call is a good way to do it. Obviously, you could do cold calling. That's more of your top of funnel. I don't necessarily, depending on what type of business you are, especially if you're a national type business and you've got a large reach, doing specific cold calling campaigns is a really manual way of generating leads. So I typically try to avoid doing that. Obviously, we'd like to drive attention through some sort of marketing effort and then retarget them with calling on the back end, more mid-funnel. But you've got telemarketing in there as well in terms of calling, and that's just really kind of more brand awareness. You're not necessarily looking for specific actions from there. But then we got texting. I'm going to get in more detail with the rest of these in a couple more slides here. You've got your social prospecting. Here's your different things you kind of focus on, and then you've got email. So let's go into each one of these a little bit more specifically. So with your calling, again, kind of reiterate what I mentioned. Obviously, with appointment setting, you want to focus mostly on your warm lead lists and then even some current customers. So if you're in the position where you can upsell, or you can really just use your calling to touch base with them and make sure they're being taken care of, that's obviously going to go a long way. With your cold calling, obviously you don't have any prior contact with the prospect. They're going to have low knowledge with your offer, which again is going to mean that it's going to be really labor intensive to really get any actionable sales out of there. It doesn't mean it's not worth it. If you have a really strong offer in a really strong brand, then possibly it's worth doing. I've done a lot of cold calling campaigns in the past. We've had success with it at times, but there are other mediums to help drive lower conversion costs. But in terms of calling, obviously you want to set your sales meetings in there. And telemarketing, as I mentioned, it's really just informative. No real request or ask necessarily. I kind of think of it's campaign season. So obviously, they're trying to get people to vote for you. So you got a little bit of an ask in there, but it's more informative driven. With texting, so texting is really good for appointment setting with your warm list. A lot of people have migrated to text messaging, of course, as a source of prospecting and stuff like that. And if as long as you have your prospect's phone number, then that could be a good option to use. But one thing to keep in mind with appointment setting with text is you don't want to be like overly annoying with it. Obviously, it's good to try to automate your processes. And one of the things that Uptics helps with is we can automate outbound SMS within our sequences, but you want it to be more middle and bottom of funnel, somebody that's aware of your brand, and you don't want to rely on it too much because it can be intrusive. And then obviously with current customers as well. So this is really bottom of the funnel. So you could set up your existing customers on a little drip, nurture just a touch base with them, quarterly or something like that. You could do an SMS one quarter, you could do an email another quarter, so on and so forth, just to touch base and see how everything's going for them. And then kind of the more automated text, I guess I just called it teletext. I don't know why I said that, but this is more kind of your advertising type text message. I think of, businesses like, maybe, I'm thinking of breweries or something that try to get you on their text list to let you know about their specials and stuff like that. It's just more informative and kind of more of a medium for advertising. And in B2B, it's not as popular, of course. But text is a good way for your appointment confirmations. Obviously, everybody's got their phone and emails get cluttered. I mean, SMS gets cluttered a little bit too, but it's good for your appointment confirmations and your meetings and just reminding people of those so that, they show up to your meeting. And then of course, follow-ups are good too. Email is great if you've got more proposal type and stuff like that. But, if it's just a quick follow-up, like just touching base with them after a post-sales meeting, afterwards, day, 2 days, week later, whatever it might be, then texting is a good platform for that stage in the process. In terms of social prospecting, again, this is going to be a little bit more top of funnel in the B2B space, especially. Obviously, you've got LinkedIn and you've got different strategies you can deploy of, connecting with your target prospects, messaging them, trying to add value to them. You could join groups and just keep your face out there. You could be posting valuable content and tips and stuff like that, just to keep your, presence out there and known, especially if you have a good strategy with connecting with your target prospects. If you're putting out good information, then people are going to, take a look at that and you're going to be a little bit more top of mind. So this is better in the top of funnel type stage. Middle funnel, get it working, closer to that bottom of funnel is just going to be more for, brand management and stuff like that, and your prospects or your customers, I should say, knowing that, you're still live. So, and then Facebook is becoming, obviously a little bit more of a platform for people are connecting even on the business side nowadays. And it never really used to be that way. It was a little bit more personal. So obviously, similar to LinkedIn, you've got friend requests, you've got, messaging, and Facebook's a lot bigger for their groups. So in terms of top of funnel, if you're active in specific groups to your niche and industry, you can really find some really good leads top of funnel on Facebook, probably maybe a little bit more so than LinkedIn, especially in terms of groups. I noticed LinkedIn groups aren't as active as Facebook groups, and that's just because people don't log into LinkedIn as much. But LinkedIn's a little bit more targeted with those connection requests, especially if you're using Sales Navigator. So mostly top of funnel here with social. And email you can kind of use in really all phases of your marketing. Although with cold email, that's one thing that you kind of want to be a little bit careful of. Not that it's not worth doing, but quality is better than quantity in terms of cold outreach. It's good for introductions and more one-on-one targeted. And you can do some automated type cold outreach as well, definitely. But you want to do it very, very specifically and make sure you're really mitigating your chances of landing in spam and just doing things correct if you're going to use it with your cold outreach. but email is a little bit better. It's a little bit more personal, and you can customize, obviously the way your emails and stuff look. It's good for, your middle of funnel confirmation reminders, nurturing people, sending them valuable information, putting them in some sort of drip campaign, adding value. We send out a ton of our articles and these videos and stuff like that when somebody's, signed up for, one of our free tools or free trainings and stuff like that. So that's kind of getting into your notifications in the informative section. But you can also obviously promote your new offers and any sort of updates you've got in your business. So like for us, we launch new features within Uptics, and it's a good medium for that, in addition to, obviously our chat widgets and app and stuff like that. And then, post meeting, follow-up retargeting. Emails were just one of those tools that's been around for so long now that, it's really good in a lot of your stages of the funnel. But do definitely be careful in your cold outreach. You got to make sure you're doing it right. And, allowing people, make sure they can opt out, make sure you're not putting too many, links in your outreach, make sure you're not putting too many images in your cold outreach, make sure your cold outreach isn't too long. I do have a free tool that can help with this for your cold emails. I've got a few different cold email sequences and a LinkedIn copywriting wizard tool and stuff like that. If you're interested in that, I'll put a link down below in the description here, and you can check that out. And then I'm just kind of finishing up here. Who needs lead generation and who needs to do this kind of stuff? So obviously that's a loaded question, right? Most B2B companies are going to be in that space. Service and product-based businesses, maybe who are, in the wholesaling business, they're selling to retailers, should really be using this approach. Pretty much any business, really. In the B2C space, obviously you've got, contractors, you've got, painters, electricians, floorers, roofers, in the trades kind of industry that focus on more on the, B2C side. You even got like realtors and, mortgage brokers and stuff like that sort of fall into that. And in terms of kind of your regular B2C, obviously you got dentists and, kind of those retail type businesses. They're a little bit less on this type of marketing, but it can be used for your warmer lists, like lists of clients and customers and stuff like that, to, just shoot out reminders and stuff like that. And typically retail's not a good fit for this kind of stuff. So that's kind of the different mediums and methods that we use in the different stages of the funnels, and, kind of mapping what strategy you want to use with different stages here. And obviously you need to work on your sales copy. You got to work on your process of implementing this stuff. And if you need help implementing, your process and getting this integrated into your business and your different funnel stages, then I definitely appreciate you liking and subscribing to our channel. Hit that notification bell, get alerts on new videos that we post. I try to do 5 new a day, and we'd love to help you in terms of automating this stuff within your business using our sales automation platform, Uptics. And I'll put a link down below in the description, and you can get started with Uptics absolutely free. You can check it out, and we'd love to hop on a demo with you and sort of walk you through the platform and show you how you can maximize your sales funnel conversions using sales automation. So I hope you appreciated this video, and we'll see you on the next one.